Hi guys, welcome to this Christmas edition of videos. Today we're going to paint the snow angel and another kind of larger Matryoshka. I hope you all had a really lovely Christmas. I had wanted to get this video finished yesterday so that I could put it up on Christmas. I know that Christmas is not always the easiest for everyone, so I thought it would be nice to spend a little bit of time together, but unfortunately I just could not get it done. So here we are today. This is the little growing collection of Matryoshkas. You can see some are painted directly onto the printables, which I'll link below, and some of them I've traced and painted on other watercolor paper or cotton paper. So I did get a message yesterday about, one of the easiest ways to, I'm just also showing you here, that I backed this one here. So I kind of outlined it and then I cut it out, and I have just kind of put some glue around some of it, but left a little pocket so that some of the littler Matryoshkas can be tucked inside. One of my best tips for gluing something as well is, and you'll see here in a minute, so I've kind of done a thin line sort of away from the edge, but then I also do kind of flatten that out and smooth that out with my finger. You could use a different tool or something, but just when you flatten it out and smooth it out, it sort of doesn't make the paper bubble. So yeah, and then I've just made kind of a little pocket for the side, and then you can fit kind of some of the smaller Matryoshkas in there. So that is a really nice tip as well. Yeah, you could leave like a bigger pocket, but anyway, so I didn't get as many shorts done as I wanted, but I think there's one last one that I'll try to do soon. Nice things about doing something like this is you start to experiment with color palettes. I'm really loving this kind of color palette, and yeah, what I was going to say was I got a message about taking the printable, turning it over, like rubbing some graphite on the back of it and then flipping it back to the front and tracing. So that's a great way, and you can look up like techniques for transferring images as well on YouTube, and you should find some pretty good tutorials. So I've just transferred this image. I just usually hold it up to a window. It's the quickest way for me to kind of get things done. So but now I am sort of getting out my palette and starting to wet just some of the colors. So as I do this, I'm thinking about what color palette I might like to use today. So I'm kind of starting to get into that kind of mode, and I'm thinking about a very, very soft palette for this one. So I start with the face as I'm kind of trying to because I want the rest of it sort of to appear in shades of white. I am, the face will probably stand out more, so I'm kind of putting that in first just to give me something to work from. So you can see that I put a lot of the color sort of concentrated around the sides of the face there more, and then I put in just a little kind of soft blush, and I'm mixing up sort of these purples, browns, kind of neutrally colors, also with quite a watery wash, and to, you can see there kind of to start the different parts of the Matryoshka. So I start here with like the muff, like the, those old kind of like the they're furry and like you can put your hands in them. So I think they're really sweet. So I wanted this one to have one of those, and I thought we'd just sort of lightly put a little bit of a wash in there, do a little bit of detailing around the side. You can see I'm not getting too intricate with anything. I am just thinking about like the colors, thinking about putting little bits of color, like kind of where to place it. So as I'm doing this, I am kind of thinking, do I leave a little bit of room here? Do I want a little bit more of a highlight here? So you can see that I'm mixing up really soft colours. I'm starting with kind of neutrals and then maybe going to the warmer or cooler side of this kind of mixing palette and pulling in little bits of other colour, and just to make it a little bit more complex. And then you can see here that I'm kind of dropping in like a little bits of darker colour, like I've pulled in a little bit more of a darker brown there to drop that in kind of where the shadows in the wings would be, and also then doing that at the bottom and just adding sort of a slight bit of detail here. So we're not really going crazy with this, we're just doing little kind of bits of kind of adding in the form just in the simplest way possible. So you can see here I'm putting the puff sleeves in. I've been really loving doing these. And then so I used silk grey to do those sleeves and kind of just the little band around the shawl. And then I am using Blue John to put this little kind of half wreath in. So you can use like a neutral tint or something with a lot of white in it. You can also use like a hematite violet with white in it. So yeah, and then again like just putting in a little bit of shadow around the bottom. For this one I'm really going for like simple kind of minimalist. How little can I do to kind of get the structure that I'm looking for here? So you can see here I'm just pulling a little bit again of those same kind of grey colours and just putting in slight bits of shading around here to kind of just bring a little bit of that form out. And then I just start going in with, so this is Bezzel from KJDesignsbyKaren, and so just something sparkly like a little silver thread. I'm just going around with a very fine brush here, you can see. So and I'm not really going to outline everything, but I kind of just outline around where maybe the light is kind of glinting and hitting this kind of snow angel in the snow or something like that. But when I first got these smaller brushes, I wasn't really a fan of them. They don't hold a lot of colour or a lot of water, and it took me a while to kind of figure out how I wanted to use these. Now I really like them because I can just kind of dry brush just little bits of colour on top of whatever I'm doing, and it gives you kind of just a sliver of a line. But you can use some, like if you have a brush with a really good point, you know, that will work as well. You just kind of want to make sure it's just a really nice dainty line, And then I did use a little bit of Sedona there at the bottom just to kind of give a bit of warmth there to that kind of the curve and the form there. So now I'm doing her eyes, and you can see like I've got one eye done. It's always the most stressful part when you have one eye done and you're happy with it, and then you've got to try and kind of get the other one in there as well to match. So yeah, it is difficult and it is stressful, but this here I'm just going around like the muff and the hat and kind of putting a little bit of that furry kind of texture in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, like just really, really simply and kind of making a really sweet kind of version. Just kind of how can I use the very least to get quite a nice impact. So yeah. The other thing I was thinking of is if you want to share your Matryoshkas, I'll leave like the hashtag below, but you can put on Instagram my Matryoshka 2024, hashtag my Matryoshka 2024, and you can we can all kind of add in what we've been working on. So I really love to see what you guys are working on and hear from you. I often just don't have time to like add to. I will always be kind of trying to take some video in the like vertical format for Instagram, and I just never have time to upload it. So but definitely I would love to see what you're working on and hear from you. So I'll pop that hashtag below, and then you can see here that I did work on a little reel for these ones. What's interesting in going into like a project like this, any kind of thing where you're giving yourself a challenge, whether it's like a 7-day challenge or something, you kind of find different little elements that suit you and work for you. And I don't know, it's quite nice. I mean, it's with anything, like even with kind of cooking or cleaning your house or anything. When you kind of start to think about how to do things, you kind of find different ways to, work. So for this one, I started to kind of group them into groups of 3. So you can see here, and I kind of did similar colors. So I did the kind of ones with the pink, the neon pink shawls, and I did kind of 3 of them, and then I kind of changed to this colouring. So yeah, I'm also kind of using a split complementary colour pairing here. So rather than going with the sort of opposite like purple and yellow, I've been kind of really enjoying the last year using kind of purple and orange, and I find like it's always in like sunsets, but kind of going to lilac and peach or kind of lavender and blush, like those different kind of softer versions of the colours. So but you can see in this one I've used the peach pop, like the really vibrant, bright kind of colour, and then the kind of a little bit more subdued and muted kind of mauves. So yeah, I've been really enjoying kind of playing around with these different colour schemes, and I feel like this is a really good way to just think about that as you're making these. So I don't know if I show you too much in this video, but I'll show you in the next video. I was kind of sketching out in my planner a couple of Matryoshkas, and I started doing some plaits, like braids. And then I was thinking about Olivia de Haviland in the old Robin Hood movie, and just those really nice long kind of princess braids. And so I was thinking about kind of doing a large Matryoshka kind of inspired by her in that movie. So I've sketched her out. This is kind of hard to show on camera. It's one of those really large pieces of watercolor paper, sort of torn in half. And then you can see I just sketched her in. I started to work on like her face, and then one braid and then the other braid. So I'm just adding in like kind of piece by piece. I started working on her puff sleeves here. So I'm using Thulite actually for the sleeves, and I like this because I feel like it sort of looks like silk, kind of organza or something, puff sleeves. And then I went in with her eyes. I like to do them kind of early on in the stage, especially if I'm doing a large one, so that if they don't work, I can, figure that out. But what I did for her eyes is I used Blue John just over the watercolor graphite, and then I dropped in some Vivianite as well, so it gives them kind of this really nice kind of depth and yeah. And then I just kept working on the bodice around the kind of top of the like where the shawl ends, and yeah. I was trying to also just think about like colours that reminded me of the movie. So I remember watching it as a kid, and so just kind of trying to keep in that kind of being inspired by that, and also like colours that I love to work with as well. So, and then here I decided to kind of make her a kind of a garden fairy or something. So even though she's inspired by that, I wanted to kind of have a theme for what she was holding and what else was happening kind of in the picture. So I got her holding a little butterfly, and you can see me just popping that together here. So you can see against the palette there like how tall she is. And then I also, since we were working on the snow fairy one, the snow angel, I wanted to give her wings as well. And I was thinking about kind of this garden fairy theme. And then there was a photo I found a few years ago of a great horned owl with these outstretched wings, and the wings were so beautiful. You can Google that and you'll find different images. And yeah, the patterns and like kind of the ruffles in their feathers and the way their feathers are structured, it's so beautiful. So I was thinking about that as well, to kind of give some of that colouring that I wanted as well, to kind of add some of these muted and smoky colours. One of the reasons I don't do a lot of larger paintings for the channel is because they just take longer. Everything about them, just takes quite a long time. And then, with the videos and the editing, it's already, quite a long time. So I don't always have the time to fit them in. But yeah, you can see I just used the gold ink. I put the tiara on. I put roses in her hair, and there's like butterflies. She's holding one, but they're also kind of flying around her. And I added some kind of shading in the face. I added a little bit of line work on top of the kind of feathers in the wings there, and then you can see that I've kind of gone back in her hair and just added little strands of kind of hair. So I wanted this one to look a bit more like the, you know, those kind of chunky braids, with like a nice curl at the bottom there. So I also added in a very simple soft landscape in the center, and yeah, that's basically it. So you can see, like, I'll just show a few little snippets of Christmas. And one of the things I found this Christmas was this ornament from someone on Instagram. Anyway, I will try and put some of the links to things, or like where they came from, on Instagram, and kind of tag people. This year my mum got this nativity, and I have been kind of looking at it in the light in the mornings, and I've been wanting to kind of paint from it, but I just didn't get a chance. So maybe next year. But always kind of, even if you don't have time to do something, it's always nice to kind of look and kind of think about how that could work. So putting the tree together and the table together and everything. Oh, I hope you guys have had a really nice Christmas as well. You can let me know how it went, and maybe your favourite thing from Christmas. Did you get something exciting that you want to share with us? Any new art supplies or new favourite things? I know we all love. We only just got the tree up in the last couple of days. We've been trying to be a bit quicker with it, and it's quite nice to just have it up also just through January as well. It's quite, January and February here can get quite, like, winter can get quite long. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that as well. But what I'd like to do to round out this kind of watercolor vlogmas or like advent calendar is I want to do a video on the weekend about my 2025 planner and kind of using planners for art, how I kind of do that. And then next week for New Year's, I'd like to swatch the sparkly little palette that you guys have been asking about. So if I can get that all done, and then I want to do one more short, I might do that like after that, and then I will start my kind of 2 weeks videos again. So next Wednesday for New Year's we'll do a video, and then a week and a half after that on the Saturday I'll start my like Saturday every 2 weeks videos. This year we did a very pink tree. Last year Dad was in charge of the tree and it looked like a bit like a Marvel super convention. Blue, red and white. So this year we went for pink. And you can see that Rosie and Millie also got a little Christmas dress, which is quite funny. Rosie's was a little bit too small. But anyway, I will see you guys soon. Bye.